Well, folks, I think it's just about time to retire the old stock bumper from the JK. She's seen better days. She's got plenty of war wounds, and it's time for something with a little bit more strength and something that's going to look a little bit better. I just wish that it would install itself. Whoa! Holy smokes! It worked! Okay, tons, 40s, beadlocks, coilovers. No? Well, I guess it only works once. Just kidding, guys. Anyway, we're going to show you how to install this bad boy, as well as this rear fascia cover kit. Super happy with how it turned out. Stay tuned.
Alrighty, Steve, we got a pretty cool bumper on the table here. Why don't you tell us who it's made by, some facts about it, and why you chose to go with this.
Alrighty, so what we have here is a Xtreme trail bumper from Rusty's Off-Road Products. The bumper itself is made out of 3/16 steel, and it's all laser cut, CNC formed, and she's got a black wrinkle powder coat finish on it. It's got two 3/4 inch steel D-ring tabs that stick through the sides right here that bolt directly to the frame. It's got big 3/4 inch grade 8 hardware. And the other part of it that we're going to install to kind of clean up the rear of it, if you've seen a lot of these Xtreme bumpers or minimalist style bumpers from other companies, the rear of the body tub it's got a lot of seams and it just kind of looks a little ugly. The other part we're going to install today is also by Rusty's Off-Road, and it's their rear fascia cover kit. And what that'll do is just kind of clean up the rear appearance of the bottom of the body tub where the pinch seam is and all that. It just kind of makes it look a little cleaner. It's also going to add a little bit of protection. It's 1/8 inch laser cut CNC formed steel, the same black wrinkle powder coat finish on it, and all the hardware is stainless steel, so it'll have a really nice appearance, won't rust on you. But it just kind of cleans up the look whenever you're using one of these minimalist style or extreme trail bumpers. And it should work with any of the really small, more like a frame cover kit or any kind of style bumper like this. But we're going to install all this today and show you how it all looks, and we'll let you know how it goes.
Alright guys, well, step one is to get your old, beat up, banged up, crappy looking factory bumper off. It's pretty easy. It is 6 bolts. There's going to be 2 on each side where she connects to the frame. Right here, just a 16mm. That's on each side. And then there are 2 underneath the frame, or underneath the Jeep, excuse me. Here and here. And those should be 16 as well. Take all those off, pull the bumper out. That's what we're going to do now. There she goes. That's what we wanted.
Open your tailgate.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
There she goes.
Look at there.
And there she is. All taken off of there. So what I ended up doing, so I didn't have to take the spare tire and my high lift jack mount and all that, because it was kind of getting in the way over here, was the little L brackets that come up like this. Just take those off. They're still 16mm. 2 more bolts. Piece of cake. There she is. Save all your hardware. I believe we're going to reuse some. So next up, we're just going to take our factory tow hook or our pull point off the rear. It's just 3 bolts, 1 on the bottom, 2 on the side, and it's just 18mm, so should buzz right off. while we have the bumper off, we're going to go ahead and do the rear fascia cover kit. First order of business is to take everything out of this storage spot back here so you don't damage it while you're doing your install. After everything is out, we need to clean all of this down here. That way we have no dirt or grime getting in between the two, and we have a nice clean finish. So we'll go ahead and clean all that up real quick. Well, now that we've got it all cleaned up, there is some exposed body filler right here at these corner seams. We're just going to go ahead and cut that out. Use your razor blade. Come up in there. Start to chip away at it. Might have to cut it out in chunks or use a pick or something to kind of dig it out. Either way, just try not to nick your paint. Make it easier on yourself so you don't have to use as much touch-up paint, which you're also going to need some touch-up paint for this job. I went around all the dealerships in town, and since I picked a Jeep that wasn't black or white, they didn't have any touch-up paint for me, so I just rolled down to the local auto parts store, got some generic universal black touch-up paint. We're just gonna let it ride because you ain't gonna be able to see it anyway.
Alright folks, we've got the body filler cleaned off of there pretty well. So now we can go ahead and move on to the next step.
So now we're gonna mock our side pieces up and mark all of our hole locations. And we gotta do a tiny bit of body trimming here. But don't lose your marbles just yet. So once you get it more or less where she's got to go, you're gonna mark here. Do the same thing for the other side. Something we noticed if you have the factory license plate bracket still on your Jeep, whenever you go to put this on, you're gonna have a little bit of a problem right here. So what we're gonna do is just take the license plate bracket off, and we're just gonna trim right here, and that'll get rid of all that interference fit. So not that big of a deal. If you have a aftermarket bracket, they might not have a problem. If you have it relocated to the center of the tire or somewhere else, then not a problem. But no big deal, we'll get it fixed. So what we're going to do with this is just try to get a nice clean cut right along the bottom edge here. That way we'll just eliminate all the hang down. You're still going to have two mounting locations on the inside, which, you know, as much weight as this thing is carrying, you should be fine. It shouldn't give you any problems. Okay guys, so this is what she'll look like whenever you have her all trimmed up. We just used a little air cutoff wheel, but you could use a air saw or hacksaw or just whatever you got. We more melted it off than cut it off because it's plastic, but you know, if you got any jagged edges or anything, you can kind of smooth them out and clean them up with a file or something like that. I'm not real worried about it because if you're looking at the underside of my license plate, you're looking at the wrong thing on my Jeep. So we'll go ahead and reinstall this and get back to her.
Alright, now there's one thing I want to point out really quick, guys. So you see how the marker doesn't get in there super tight to the edge? So we're going to make sure we cut on this side of the line a little bit, you know, past the line. That way there's no orange overhang. We're going to try to, you know, compensate and cut flush.
So it tells you to use a cutoff wheel or something similar. We can't get our cutoff wheel in there because it's 90 degree, so we're going to use an air saw. But I put me a piece of tape here right beside my marked line just to kind of give me a little bit clearer guide, and we're just going to buzz this off and press on. So now that we got both of our angles cut, we're just going to center punch all of our holes that we marked. Then we're going to drill them with a pilot drill, 1/8 inch, and then we're going to go step up. And since I don't have a center punch, I'm just going to use a Phillips head screwdriver that I don't care too much about. Get it close. Give her a pop. Move over here. Give her a pop. Just adding a little touch-up paint to our bare metal surfaces to keep any corrosion from happening. So we're going to temp install this driver's side panel. You're going to get 2 of your serrated nuts, 1/2 inch and 1/3 inch of your button head screws. And we're just going to get her started.
Alright, so what we're doing now, guys, is we're just going to temp install these ones just to hold these plates up nice and tight, and then we can really eyeball the middle plate when we go to put it in, just to make sure that everything lines up. We don't want to have them lining up all funky. So this way, if we temp start them, we can make sure it's good, and we can fudge the middle plate one way or the other, just a hair or two if we have to.
Alright, so we got the fascia kit all installed. The last couple bits of it were definitely a 2-man job, so we didn't have enough hands with us to film it, but I'll just kind of go over it with you. Once you get your holes marked and drilled for the outside pieces, you have to get them temp installed, have both of them sitting in here, put your center piece in, and then what we used was just a couple of washers that were the right thickness to give us the equal spacing we were looking for on each side, and just held those in there, marked our hole locations, took everything back off so we didn't mess up anything whenever we were drilling, pilot holed these, and then drilled these, same pilot hole and same big hole, drill bit hole. I think it's 1/8 inch and 3/8. And then you just temp install everything, and we worked our way from the inside out, making sure that this bottom edge was flush and that our washer kept our spacing, tightened them down, and worked our way out. I really like the look of it. It definitely cleans up the look back here. It's not going to protect you if you come down hard on a rock on this outside edge, but you know, bumps, scrapes, small dents, I think it's going to cover you from really messing up your body seam down here on these ends, because your bumper does not extend out here, or at least mine doesn't. If you have any other sort of bumper, the only measurement I think you're going to need is, this is 1/8 inch steel, so if you have that much room or more between your bumper and the body tub back here, this will fit. I mean, I'm really pleased with it. It looks great, and that's more or less what I did it for. I saw it, I love the look of the thing, cleans it up, adds a nice finish touch to it. Alright folks, now we're going to get back to installing our bumper. There's the good stuff. We're going to take our 3/4 inch steel D-ring mounts and slide them inside of our frame horn. They only go in one way, so you can't really mess this up. But we're just going to slide them in there like that. Then we're going to take the bumper, slide it in, line up the holes between the bumper, which is going to sit on the outside, and our D-rings on the inside, and then start, but do not tighten, our supplied 3/4 bolts with the washers. Okay, now come over to the side. You're just looking at your holes here. Looks like we'll have to pick up on the bumper slightly. And then I'll rock this D-ring just enough to get the top one started. Alright, she started. Then you're going to take 2 per side of those factory bolts you took out with the factory bumper. They're going to go right in here. Again, we're just going to get them started on each side, and then we'll go and adjust and kind of square the bumper up to our liking, and then we'll torque everything down. Alright, so really the only adjustment that I can see to do, because everything else looks pretty square and level, is, and this is just me being me in particular, having an even gap on your D-ring in the bumper. I'm just sticking me a screwdriver in here while I'm torquing it down to keep it some kind of a gap on each side. And that's about it. So these were 130 foot-pounds, and this is calling for 33 on these back ones here. I'm sure you'll be just fine if you run them in with an impact, but here I go, being particular again. Well, there it is, folks. This is the Rusty's Off-Road Products Xtreme Trail Bumper and their rear fascia cover kit. I'm really pleased with the install. Went pretty smooth, all things considered. I mean, this bumper it's 6 bolts. It's ridiculously easy. It looks great. The powder coating is nice. And the thing that I liked about this bumper is that it does not require you to cut your rear frame horns, which if you have a newer Jeep that's still under warranty, it will void the warranty if you cut the frame on it. There are a lot of other frame covers and this type of bumper out there that will set in farther and give you more of a departure angle. If that's what you're into, that's fine. I didn't want to cut the frame. I didn't want it to go through all that. This looks great. It's going to give me all the protection I need back here, and I like the looks of it. So there you go. Hope you guys like it. If you do and you want to have one for yourself, give Rusty or Amy a call over at Rusty's Off-Road and tell them that we sent you.